Hi everyone, my name is Konwani Chirwa for the sake of those who may not know who I am. It's a Friday again, and I want us to think about something that often gets overlooked in our profession, and that is the topic of job titles in librarianship. Now, you may be wondering, job titles, is that really such a big deal? Oh, yes, it is. I think it is. Simply because a job title is not just a label. It's a signal, it's an identity, and it signals what you do and how others value your work. Now, let's rewind a little. For years, for decades, most of us in Zambia have known titles like Assistant Librarian, Librarian, Senior Librarian, maybe even Chief Librarian. And in the days when libraries were mainly about managing physical books and shelves, these titles worked. They described the hierarchy and gave everyone a place. But fast forward to today, the digital age, our profession has completely transformed, or it's transforming. The way we provide access to information, the way students and researchers use the library, even the way we preserve knowledge is becoming digital. It's becoming digital. It's becoming dynamic, and it's constantly evolving. Okay, let me illustrate this. Let me give an example. Excuse me. Imagine an assistant librarian in a university library. On title, on paper rather, the title sounds like they are assisting with shelving or circulating. But in reality, this person, this assistant librarian, might be managing the university's entire digital repository or troubleshooting access to e-journals. They may be running training sessions on digital literacy. They may be supporting lecturers who want to use open educational resources. Now, do you see the disconnect? The title says one thing, but the actual work says something completely different. And the danger is when our titles don't reflect our real roles. Outsiders, whether that's administrators, policymakers, or even students, underestimate our value. That is why around the world, libraries have started rethinking their job titles. So instead of librarian, you will hear things like digital services librarian, focusing on online platforms. You will also hear things like metadata specialist, working with cataloging in the digital space. You will hear research data manager, helping scholars manage and preserve their data sets. You will also hear scholarly communications officer, guiding universities through open access publishing. Now, these titles don't just sound modern, they signal expertise. They tell the world that librarians are not just book custodians, but key players in the knowledge economy. So, what about us here in Zambia? Well, we can't afford to be left behind. If we keep calling someone assistant librarian when they are actually managing the backbone of a university's digital systems, we are undertelling, or we are underselling ourselves. It affects how much respect the profession gets. It affects how attractive the career looks to young graduates, and it even affects how administrators justify investing in our services. Because, let's be honest, titles like digital resources manager or information services officer sound like roles worth funding and growing. Assistant librarian? Not so much. Of course, updating our job titles is not just cosmetic. It's not just about cosmetics. It has to go hand in hand with reskilling. Okay, we need to keep building capacity in digital literacy, research support, data management, systems administration, and user experiences. That's how we make sure the new titles reflect their real competencies. But the titles are the first visible signal of change. They are what students see on our badges. They are what administrators read on our organizational charts. They are what policymakers hear when we introduce ourselves. And trust me, those impressions matter. Okay. So maybe it's time to ask some serious questions. Should assistant librarian become information services officer? Should senior librarian evolve into digital resources manager, for example? Should university librarian or chief librarian be seen as a director of knowledge and learning services? These shifts aren't about abandoning our heritage as librarians. They are about embracing who we are becoming in the digital age. Our titles must tell the story of our transformation. They must show the world that Zambian librarians are not stuck in the past. We are digital, we are innovative, and we are essential to the future of knowledge. Let's start that conversation. What do you think? Are we ready to rethink our job titles for the digital age? That's the question I leave for you. Let's start that conversation now, and let me know what your thoughts are. What do you think? Are we ready to rethink our job titles for the digital age in Zambia? Kondwani Chirwa again. Thank you for watching. Bye.